Does everyone have a sheet that needs a sheet? Okay,
I was just sorting out.
I'll call this Conservation Commission meeting to order on August 15th. That's 7 o'clock. Approval of the minutes of the July 18th commission meeting. Pardon? Okay,
Oh, okay.
do I hear a
Second.
second? Discussion on the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. So carried. The minutes have been approved. Financial matters? I don't see a sheet on that. Printed me one.
Unfortunately, it slipped past me today to get that from finance. I kind of ran out of time.
This is Dan Malo speaking.
Yes, this is Dan Malo, and Heather in the chat would ask that you prefer a roll call.
All right, fine. We'll have a roll call. Norma O'Leary.
Pete Cummins.
Carol Smith. Pat Cheever new.
Dave Clark.
And we have a guest with us, John Rice, this evening, and Amy St. Ange.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, do we have a financial report of any kind, Dan?
Not necessarily. There hasn't been any expenditures besides the salary for both myself and Heather. So it's nothing coming out of left field, though. We will be purchasing a shared cabinet that we've been talking about for a long time, where you authorized another $200 towards that expense to be shared with the Wetlands Commission. We also have a membership coming due for Connecticut Association of Inland Wetland and Conservation. But I can actually get the report the next time I'm in office and try to get that included in Heather's minutes, if that's appropriate.
That sounds good, I guess.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So,
So
okay, moving on to correspondence.
I sent by email the meeting minutes of last month and my agent report, in addition to the agenda. One item that did come in today there's a handout in front of you. USDA Yukon Forested Wetlands Soils Workshop. I don't know if anybody is interested. There is a fee, but it would be an interesting training opportunity. If any member is interested, we could try to coordinate that.
Okay, thank you.
And my question on that, these are all 1 day, it's a 1 day workshop, but there's a choice of 5 days. Am I reading that correctly?
That's my read of it. They have the two, I think they're one course. I don't think they're any different between the 5 separate sessions.
Yeah,
I just think
it looked like there were 5 sessions, but then when I read it, it said pick 1 day. So
Yeah, I think they anticipate a large attendance. They limit it to 50 participants, and to kind of have the same workshop a couple days, I think they're anticipating a big turnout. Or they just want to provide options to accommodate different schedules.
yeah, the cost of $25, which includes coffee, pastry, lunch, wraps, that wouldn't be for 5 days. If it is, I'll sign up for 100 days.
Yeah, that's a deal. But if anyone is interested, please let me know and we'll work to accomplish your attendance. And otherwise no incoming mail.
Okay.
We have received by email an announcement that the Habitat newsletter is back in circulation. We receive our regular conservation Connecticut land use emails, but for business matters, there's been no business back and forth by email or notices having to go out. It's been a slow summer for that in that regard.
Okay, officer and committee reports.
Okay, and I will read from my report, which should also be on the table in no particular order. We had brought this up last meeting regarding the flashing sign at Town Hall. It's available for anybody to use. So if we have a message to display, we have an invitation to share. One thing I think we should mention is Phil's service on the commission, but that is another item later on in the report, which I'd like to talk about a little more. The town meeting with 3 ordinances for adoption, all 3 passed. The first was to reduce the size of the Recreation Commission by 1 member. The second ordinance was related to MS4 stormwater. And the third ordinance was the contentious one, the PA 490 open space. All 3 of those passed. If anybody would like to speak about any of those later, I'm sure that there's some conversation to be had about it. On to the next item, hazardous waste day. I got some numbers from Public Works. Unfortunately, they only kept 2 data points. And one was the number of vehicles, which was 159 vehicles. And the costs that the town incurred were $14,875. They mentioned that the day it was contracted out to like a waste management company, so it wasn't sorted and stuff in-house, is my understanding of how it was kind of explained to me. But we got a little bit of numbers for 159 different vehicles to show up with something hazardous to safely dispose of is captured. A good number there.
How does that compare? Was it pretty good? Sounds good to me if this 159 vehicles showed up with a hazardous waste.
I agree. Onto the neglected cemeteries grant. We're still awaiting an announcement of the grant for the next season, next 2-year cycle. I've made inquiries to Office of Policy and Management, the state that administers this program, and they kind of gave me a dismal answer just to monitor the website for an announcement. So I've been refreshing that website for a while now, but we're putting together all the similar documentation that we had to apply for this grant in the past, and to prepare to apply for it again. Our current grant is in its 2nd year of 2 years, and we'll be seeking a reimbursement for that, the work that was done at Wilsonville Cemetery pretty soon. I'd like to submit that sometime in September. I think the notification that we received from OPM is that our grant expires in November.
We plan to have the work done the end of September.
So that'll work. On to the nesting boxes. This has been a success. Thanks to Dave Clark, Bernie Davis, also Dave Eddy, and Norma's coordination. We were able to meet our demand. So far, we've got 34 nesting boxes that have been handed out, and the remainder of our wait list has been contacted. We're waiting for pickup from 14 residents, and a total of 53 boxes were requested this year. And the previous high that I could find in going a little back was 47 boxes in 2017. So this was a strong year. But we did not have this opportunity last year. So I think that people who are familiar with it were waiting for us to do it again, and because there was familiar names in the list.
In regards to we were looking for some pictures.
Yes, anybody that walks out the door with them, I tell them I need some pictures when.
Oh, I did. I can take pictures of mine. I got one this year.
All right.
If, towards the late of the season, but I have many bluebirds in the late winter, so I'm hoping that they will nest this year, this spring coming.
Oh, good. Good, so
So I'll take a picture.
good, wonderful.
A
Thank you.
question, do I leave it up all year?
The box, yeah, you can leave it up all year, but it would need to be, you probably want to remove the old nests.
Yeah,
Or-
no, nothing nest. I didn't have,
Okay.
I didn't have any, it was late in the season, so no one nested. But I'm hoping this spring, late winter, they will.
I have, I was at Dave Eddie's picking up the wood for the boxes, and the man who was sawing the logs, I made a comment because he had a couple nests in there. And he said, would you like to see my bluebirds? And I said, I'd love to. He took me over to a Nestle's box, Nestle's chocolate,
Hmm.
a little box about 4 inches high. He handed the box to me, and in it were 2 or 3 little teeny bluebirds just hatched out.
Wow.
It's adorable. So all I have to do is to get it from my phone to you. Do you think that would make a story if somebody wanted to say what we're doing in an article like the Friday paper?
I
And
think
so-
it's something special. I think the work that Thompson has done for a while now has contributed to the birds sticking around here, and I think there's a story in that, and about the birds and about the program. I think we have an opportunity with our selectmen's update, which is coming due, to kind of make the short version of that, at least for the audience of the selectmen's update. But I think it's a bigger story than that, and I'd be happy to help prepare or speak to someone who is the writer, or write it myself if the commission.
That would be excellent. I'll furnish the 2 pictures that I have, which shows the need for bird houses, because evidently the birds needed a place and they chose the Nestle's box.
Yeah, they seek cavities, so I guess they must have found the box in a certain way, and it looked like safe enough
In a sawmill.
in a sawmill.
Yeah,
But also related to the nesting boxes, a couple of people have mentioned this to me, that Hull Forest Products produces bird box template kits by the pallet load, and I don't know if that's is true or hyperbole, but that might be a good partnership to supply this in the future. I don't know if anyone has associations or contacts with Hull Forest Products.
yeah.
Part of my floor came from them, but I didn't buy it. Somebody else did.
Yeah.
What do they furnish?
Template kits of bird boxes. Somebody mentioned one time they had a company picnic, and they came by and dropped a pallet of bird box kits, and I don't know if it's just some vague old memory that they don't do it anymore, or if it's making these kits and having them kind of around is something they do. But I want to explore that lead before the next time we get going on this.
That sounds great.
we might have a surplus after all is said and done with the bird boxes, because I've reached out to everybody that was on the list, and they're coming in a couple a day. But there's still I think the 14 that I don't know when they're going to show up, if they're going to show up. But I've kept them aside, and we'll know in a couple weeks if there's extras that any of the members or someone they know would want one.
If not, we can keep them for next spring. when they-
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to eventually get us ready to accommodate maybe the same demand next spring too. I don't see demand decreasing, especially if we advertise it and there's a story, a story that touches people, that there might be double the interest that there was this year. But,
I still have wood for maybe half a dozen more or so.
Okay. I'll
I get another indoor work day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah,
Okay,
thank you, Dave.
Oh.
On to the next item on the agent report, the draft subdivision regs. Marla intends to meet with the town planner and I believe Amy St. Ange to discuss her concerns about a couple things. One of them, the buildable lot size and shared driveways.
Mhm.
The commission has given her the green light to also present to that subcommittee that's working on those regulations. They haven't picked a date yet. And as soon as Marla has a date set, I will share that with everyone here.
thank you.
You're welcome. As mentioned earlier, the Selectmen's update article is due. I plan to submit the article about the success of our Bluebird nesting box program, and also in there thanking Bernie, Dave, Eddie, and Norma for their efforts to put it really all together and meet the demand. But there is space on the page for other matters that could include mention if there's anything that the commission might want to see in the Selectmen's update blurb. I can take some ideas, but I'd like to have it finished by my shift on Wednesday. To the next item, Pat Cheever has applied to join the commission. They have received her application, and as I understand it, she is on the Selectmen.
She's here.
She's here. Okay.
I'm here.
I
Not
I'd
too
heard-
sure what was going on. I just kept saying my name, so I figured, well.
I had heard that the select board was gonna take up the nomination tomorrow, but your confirmation will fill the last vacancy we have on the commission, which is really good to have a full functioning and vibrant commission. So I thank you, Pat. On to the next item, planning and zoning subcommittee meeting is meeting right now on Zoom to discuss updates to the zoning regulate, an annual update, proposed update discussion. As time conflicts with our meeting, but as soon as we log off, I'm going to try to join that and see where they're at in the conversation. On to the next item, the mentioned forested wetland soil workshop. Let me know if you're interested. Phil Thomas's time on the commission, we need to do something. Past chair people have had plaques. I'm kind of wondering what the commission feels is an appropriate way to honor his time with the commission. And ideas can come at any time, or we can have a brainstorm.
I had spoken to Amy about it, and Amy's gonna take it up with the selectmen since he served on more than one committee. And I thought it should come from the town of thanking him. But she could explicitly mention the Conservation Commission, or did you want something?
I think that is actually if he's got that much wider service to the town, I think that's probably the best way to acknowledge him, but I would like explicit mention of the Conservation Commission because it's as important as other commissions.
Mhm. Okay.
The Animal Crossing signs, I left, they bounced me around at Troop D and they got me to a records division and they would return my call eventually about animal accident incidences in Thompson. So they didn't laugh at me, but I don't know if they're really gonna chase that down. We have 8 signs and they're deployed in pairs, so 4 pair. If people feel we don't have to put them up right away or all at the same time, or I think maybe as needed or as it seems apparent that there might be an issue on a road, we could figure to install some of these signs. Some of the roads that have been brought up to me are Aquatic Town Farm Road, which is actually quite a stretch of road, so it might require 2 pairs. Wilsonville Road is another, but if you notice that something might make sense somewhere in your daily travels, we'll make note and plan to put up some of these signs with Public Works help. So this came in today, and it might be considered business, except I have not received any plan yet. Marla, our wetlands agent, took an inquiry from the owners of 221 Ballard Road. They were asking if they could build in the rear of their property. So on the table in front of you, there should have been a couple 11 by 17s. Which kind of show this property and that it has this substantial backyard. In this backyard, there's a 5-acre conservation easement, Connecticut Light and Power easement, and wetlands and whatever is left. Obviously, I don't believe it's developable, but they are very interested. They said, well, what does that mean? Well, this land is protected in perpetuity. Well, what does that mean? That means forever. And then is there a way we can take that off? And I really don't know how to advise them. And I wonder, I don't believe, besides having a land use attorney performing all this legwork, that you can really easily remove a conservation easement. Marla has suggested to them that they might be in line for a break on their assessment, considering that this large tract is undevelopable. But they plan on, the homeowners plan on stopping by the office on Wednesday. I spoke to them on the phone at the end of the day, and I said, I can show you what the deed says, and I can show you the plans I have in front of me. This also ties into the easement discrepancies on our app Geo on Ballard Road. On our app Geo software that we use, the easements are not depicted on the online. And this made it through the town zoning officer, the front line of defense on this, because it really wasn't expressed on the map that we go to on a regular basis. So I'm tired of those discrepancies. Later on, couple items down. And I'll talk about it now. I've spoken with a local contractor and property owner, Jason LaValle, about some questions I had about easements, since he had a couple that were, I didn't know the status of. And we're gonna sit to formalize anything that should be on the roster and on the online. But some conservation easements, actually, a lot of conservation easements need to be expressed on that AppGeo software, since it's kind of our office go-to, and it's where we direct the simplest questions somebody might have about their property, where we direct residents to that. And it's not, all it can be is now becoming problematic. But if, I don't know, does anybody have, I mean, my stance for the residents are these easements were created as part of the approval of the subdivision in the era that the subdivision occurred, and they were a requirement that land be set aside by the developer for permanent protection. But if there's any other angle that the commission or commissioners might want me to speak to, I'd be happy to take advice, because I've never heard of anybody.
Dan,
Yes.
John Rice is here. May I ask John Rice to speak on, he might have some words of wisdom on it.
Yes, please.
John?
For me, it looks like it was part of a subdivision. That's a subdivision, and that's what, in lieu of, a developer has an option either to put land in conservation or pay a fee for that land or whatever it's worth. So my understanding, it's irrevocable, is that you don't develop it on that land.
That's my interpretation as well. But I can provide them with the information I have, and if it's something, they would probably need to seek legal advice to decide
Right.
to pursue it.
Well, they can look it up in the town hall. I mean, town clerk's office. Pull up that subdivision. State on that, on the map that was.
This is all new to me. What are these numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pardon? Oh, they're house
There's a
lots.
lot.
Are there houses on there right now?
Yes,
Oh, these are all houses.
I think that's where next to the Azid Farm,
I
those
think so.
houses that
Yes.
go along, I think 5 there.
So there are 7 houses in this area.
Yes, and all the houses do have some degree of conservation easement across all that whole swath. There's a
Right there, yeah.
so they're not alone amongst their neighbors with that issue, except that they have that large piece of property in the back that is just, it has the CLMP easement, and it's wetlands, and there's a conservation easement on there.
So what do they want to do?
Build.
Behind them,
This here? Oh, they want to build.
that I think.
Bring a driveway down
Seven,
that.
6 and 7.
Number 6, 7, I
6
believe.
and 7 want to build more?
So there's a bunch of properties in a row. 2 of them have large backyards, 5 acres or more. This particular one, I don't know what lot number it is on the map in front of you, but it's in the pink area where I wrote 221 Ballard. That is the area that they'd like to build a home on, or build a second, subdivide, and I think they might be kicking the can on what they can do with their property.
How'd they get in there?
There is a 20-foot kind of, you can almost call it a right of way, but a thin narrow strip that goes from Ballard Road to the rear of the property.
Between 6 and 7, is that what you're talking about?
I
Between the last, between the bottom two? Well, anyway, you're gonna
It
check
looks
it.
like down there.
That's what I was looking
That
at,
must be
yeah.
the easement coming in here.
And the CLMP easement is also not depicted on our town mapping, and it, I mean, we really need this stuff.
Does it?
So this is just, it's forming a list for the assessor and tackling these one by one. Yeah, there's, yeah, 221 is overall a 6.8 acre property with the bulk of it in the rear, and it currently inaccessible, except by a 20-foot wide strip that's probably 200 feet long. So, I mean, you could carve it into a building lot if it were a buildable lot, is my read of it, but it's already gone through that subdivision process and formalized in a conservation easement as open space. So I think they would need an attorney to do anything more. But if ideas come to mind, I'll keep the commission updated on how the meeting goes with the couple. And hopefully, we can guide them to have a look at their tax assessment in light of this this issue.
Okay.
To the next item, I wanted the commission to weigh in on Zoom and the hybrid meetings. If there are any thoughts on how they're going and how you'd like to proceed.
Well, I sure appreciated it at the last meeting when I was not feeling well and could come in via Zoom.
Does it cost more to have a hybrid meeting?
I think it's kind of coming out of Amy St. Ange's time to that
She's
she,
sitting here.
yeah, and I'm thankful that she administers these because it's a blessing. And I think yeah, it gives a lot of this work and discussion can be conducted remotely, and we've kind of been proving that. I don't know if we will ever go back to the world that was before. But my read is we figured out how to host these and hold these. And it's useful to a lot of degrees. We have also the capacity to give presentations on this if the public were in attendance about a particular issue that we were working on. And it's a little, the public also has come to expect the ability to do some of this stuff online too. So I kind of like how we've been holding these meetings. And I thank Amy St. Ange for administering that.
Has anyone any comments on this? No? Okay.
Alston set this up, give you a break.
Oh, no, I don't mind. I don't mind being here. I like listening in and knowing what's going on and yeah, never a problem.
We'll just have to get our donuts and coffee, that's all.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Welcome. The next item, I'm still the wetlands recording secretary. Marla had someone fill in for me while I took a vacation last month. And I'm just going to continue until, it's something, till it works. They found something that works. It's not such a encumbrance. I appreciate the extra money, and it helps me stay in the loop on issues that might come to affect our commission. which the next issue on the agent report is one of those. Aquatic Town Farm Road on the 6th, there was a brush fire that occurred on Boy Scout land in the vicinity of Mr. Rodley LeMay's property. His name has come up before last fall when I was filling in for Marla as the wetlands agent. I had to issue notice of violation to Mr. LeMay for clearing in the wetlands. Some of the other pieces of the complaint included deer baiting, and these same conditions were reported by the fire marshal. And the red truck his red truck is seen leaving the scene. Or a red truck was seen leaving the scene. A red truck is part of the previous complaints. Connecticut Deep is investigating, and I think they'll be forwarding the results to the fire marshal. I don't know if it's been completed, but Marla and I await what they come up with, and it goes to show it won't go away unless it's solved finally. So Connecticut Deep has the teeth, and hopefully they have something to hold somebody accountable with. I had spoke about the easements on Ballard Road and Donovan Drive. There are some also Mr. LaValle and I have talked about to make sure that we get the discrepancies between our app geo and our conservation easement roster square.
Okay.
So I will be sitting with him again to just show him what I have and see what he's done, and if anything has to be filed, we're working to get it sorted out.
Won't they show up on the plans when they put their plans together,
Yeah.
where the easements are going to be?
Yes.
Where?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And we want to make sure that it shows up on the online software where we direct people. Onto the next item, Thompson Litter League. They've found some sponsors. Let's see, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 listed. But there could be more. Participants can sign up as individuals or as a team, and that is ran through the Thompson Recreation Department. Bank Hometowns a sponsor, Last Green Valley, Jazierski Plumbing and Heating. We'll see how they do. I'm interested in to follow this competition here.
How many have they got signed up already?
I read 8 sponsors, so I
No, I
don't
don't.
I don't know how many
Sponsors.
participants,
Okay,
but I will talk to Brian, our rec director, for that. That should be an easy update. I did check out some conservation easement properties on the west side of Aquatic Lake. There's a road called Arrowhead and Hiawatha, and I didn't see a single conservation medallion while driving through, and it's very overgrown along that side of the road, but it doesn't look like anybody is doing it any kind of harm. There, I think it was 7 lots between those two roads there. And they're small pieces, and some of them slope right off, and I could see why they were given to the town, but they were smart easement locations. I didn't take any pictures. Couldn't really get a good picture, just the overgrowth, but I didn't notice any medallions. I don't know if deeper into the swampy section, if there are medallions posted. I don't know if posting medallions would do it any better service. I mean, they could be posted on some of the trees around. But I don't know what that would do. But if the commission would like to see medallions out there, that's something we could to get accomplished. But there was otherwise no indication that these were conservation easement properties, just kind of overgrown.
They were probably put there before we started putting out medallions.
I think so. That's kind of often the case. I had mentioned, and I plan on just checking on the list as I can. But I'd like to kind of get through it just to see the state of things. But on to the next item, the shared storage cabinet. Marla on the Wetlands Commission has been authorized to spend an additional 200. So previously, the Wetlands Commission had encumbered $200. The Conservation Commission had encumbered $200. The cost of things and shipping has risen dramatically since Carolyn first quoted the cabinets. Last meeting, Conservation appropriated another 200. At their last meeting last week, Wetlands Commission appropriated another 200 for a total of $800, which should more than cover the cost of a fully assembled and shipped storage cabinet that we're seeking to kind of put some of our larger cumbersome items to stow them, like an easy up tent, some of our GPS equipment and other sensitive things that really should be behind a lock. We'll be making our final selection shortly. But I think we're going with Global Supply. Was probably the best we could find out there, but there's a whole internet of cabinets out there to pick from, and that's kind of weighing option 1 versus option 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking for a fully assembled cabinet or easy assembly cabinet with no color preference. Almost they call it a janitorial style cabinet that has could fit a mop bucket, but we need it to stow mostly our large cumbersome items and our sensitive equipment.
Where will these storage cabinets be?
It's one cabinet, and it will be in our shared office, the Conservation Wetlands office. So not last week, 2 weeks now back, the State Bond Commission awarded some grants around the state. 10 million was put into the open space and watershed land acquisition program. 15 million was put into state park infrastructure, and 9 million was put into recreational trails and greenways programs. So there's the state is spending money towards these open space and recreational goals, and I think I mentioned this at the last meeting. I think Thompson is poised to acquire some money once we identify properties or a property that really fits the bill, and we prepare for it accordingly. Skipping to one item ahead, there are matching funds with Connecticut Conservation Partnership Program as a way to, it's a new funding program that establishes a process that anybody applying for this grant may apply for a federal grant as a source of match funds. And this is through the Connecticut Land Conservation Council. So even if there wasn't a match money, there's a source to try to acquire the match money. It looks like there might be more strings, but that's kind of something we want to pour over the details if we were to utilize that. Now regarding a target property, one area that has stood out to me since I started here is the Randolph property by the town-owned Bull Hill Recreation Area, soccer fields at the end of Messier Road. This is an 117 acre parcel that's kind of just been sitting for a while, and it is smack between our Bull Hill Recreation Area and the Wyndham Land Trust's Bull Hill area properties. I think this parcel could link two trail systems. My vision of it would be town ownership because it would add more value to the Bull Hill Recreation Area. It's it's kind of dwarfed by the Thompson Dam, but it's a nice trail area. And I think it would add more value to what we have already over there. But at the same time, Wyndham Land Trust, I'm sure, has made inquiries about this particular property too, and any effort, I think, to bring it into conservation and recreational use. It's in my mind right now, the top of my mind in terms of a target property. I don't know if this property has come up before on the commission, ever having any discussion of it, or if members are familiar with it. I had a handout on the table for everybody that kind of shows where it is and the polygon shape of it. So to its immediate east is the Bull Hill Recreation Area or soccer fields, and to the immediate west of it is a number of Wyndham Land Trust parcels. And that I've hiked through there, but don't tell anybody. But I think it would be a prize if the two trails systems would link. And with the ultimate long goal of having them link into the West Thompson Dam trail systems. But starting somewhere, I know it's a large parcel, but I'd ask members to think about it and see if it makes sense in their mind.
Who owns it now?
Someone named Joyce Randolph, and I believe on the AppGeo printout I have for you, it has the property owner name on a sidebar.
Yeah.
But she's out of state, and there's not a lot of information to be found. We could write directly to that address, but I think that's premature. But
Is Wyndham Land, she's looking to sell?
I'm not sure. I know Wyndham Land Trust has been, like, I searched my record of emails and the emails that Carolyn had, and the Randolph property gets mentioned periodically through the years. I don't know with Land Trust email signatures and back and forth kind of on that, but I don't know how far it's ever gotten, if the Land Trust's interest was rebuffed. It is mostly wetlands. Wheaton Brook runs through there, and it'd be a hard property to develop. But it is 117 acres, and that shouldn't go for free. So I don't know if we have any members on the commission that are currently with the board or attend meetings of the Wyndham Land Trust, but I was wondering if the commission would mind if I reach out to the Land Trust about, their thoughts on this property.
I'm sure they'd be delighted to get any information they can that would help them.
Okay. It's, there's a lot of recreational area over there, but I think it by linking, providing contiguity between two nodes, I guess is kind of the goal of any trail system, I guess you could say. It makes it all the more functional. And I'll reach out to them to see what their thoughts on that have been through the years. Moving on to another item. I've heard Ron Tillen took some aerial photographs, like 100 aerial photographs in the 2000s, 2004. And I was wondering if they were displayed or where they wound up and what they might have been used for, out of curiosity. But if any members have any leads on that or recall the photos at the time, I think he had a friend that took him up in the air and he snapped a lot of pictures. But I'm wondering where they are and what they were used for.
Maybe the Historical Society?
Would probably be given to the Wyndham Land Trust and the Historical Society, knowing Ron.
I was gonna say, people, yeah, that's the first thing I thought of.
Okay, yeah, it'll be a good conversation for both of them. On to the next item. We had a kids camp gravestone cleaning at Joslyn Cemetery. There were 12 middle schoolers who attended. This was put on by the Gravestone Girls through our recreation department on let's see, July 21st. So it was a little extra work. The Gravestone Girls will be doing a 3-part historical and genealogical program. Also ran through the rec department in September. I think there's historical, one presentation is historical, one presentation is about genealogy, and one is related to the gravestone cleanings. There's a cost with that of $90 for residents and $100 for non-residents.
$90 for what?
To attend this 3-part, I will ask Brian for if he's got a brochure for this. I could send it around.
Why are they charging?
I'm not certain.
Bringing somebody in, maybe?
I think they're bringing Joe I. Martino in, and I don't think you have to pay him.
Yep, I know. His name was mentioned on.
I don't think, it's not my business, I guess. But it seems kind of odd that they're charging.
I'll ask Brian for the program or a brochure on it, and I'll forward it to everybody when I'm back in the office. I'm interested.
$25 at the other thing, we get lunch and coffee.
I know.
Now we get for 90.
$90 is a lot. They're not
It
gonna
is.
get many people to that.
Yeah. There must be something to take home, like
We need something to take home, like a hole in the head.
yeah. But on to the next item. So the map geo that I was referencing earlier, the online GIS that we is our go-to in the land use office, and where we direct residents to kind of have a peek at their some of the property characteristics. It looks like a Google map that has all the parcel polygons drawn out all over the state. I mean, all over the town. We have, we're only utilizing it in its most basic function. There are many themes that can be, such as they're overlays in a sense that could be applied to this software that I've seen used in other towns. These are some examples of themes that are used in other towns that we don't have this data mapped in Thompson. Recreational trails on this stagecoach monuments, historic homes, cemetery locations. This is in some other towns. This is a little slider that you can toggle that you turn it on, and will display the polygon cemetery locations on throughout the town. You slide it on and off. We use it mostly to identify state mapped wetlands areas, and our zoning map essentially is overlaid on top of the Google map that shows us this information. But we could have our data on our fire hydrants, FEMA floodplains, snow plowing routes, all that kind of information is within the capacity of this type of program. It's a matter of having the data and then having MapGeo express it on geospatially on the map for us. It could come with more cost, but I just wanted to make the commission aware that the software we could use could be a little better. And I think we're using it in its most minimal function. I have the link there for anybody who's not familiar with our MapGeo. If you're reading the PDF from the file, my agent report that I sent by email, you can click on that. But otherwise, it's as simple as going to the town website and in the little search section, typing GIS, and you'll find it pretty easily from there. But I encourage members to have a look at this program, and it's kind of fun to scroll around town and kind of get a scope of things. Please forward any ideas or things that you think are missing that could be there to me. And then we can, if it's free enough, we can try to get that data implemented along with the corrections to our conservation easements on these maps. And I think Paul Hopkins, our assessor, is the point person for this program. So we'll just collect ideas and work with Paul to see the vision through. Reached out to both Sarah Sportman and Ruth Brown of the Connecticut Gravestone Network. Sarah Sportman is a state archaeologist, about the possible burial site at North Grovendale Pond and the procedures that we'd go through to verify that it is a burial site and then enclose it. Still awaiting their reply. I think the state archaeologists sent out of the office reply back to me very quickly, and they anticipated being back in the office this week, but they didn't get to me today. But there.
Where
So-
is the North Grovendale Pond?
Behind the KFC.
Okay. Okay, I was thinking of the little one behind,
That's Lily Pond.
huh?
There's another one back there called Lily Pond.
Okay.
You have another one.
Shoes.
But we kind of need, experts to weigh in on how to verify, because we want to make for certain that this is, in fact, burial site, and for the dignity that it would deserve if it were.
I
So-
checked with Andy Syme, and I asked him how he found it, because he was the one that notified Carolyn and I that it was there.
Yep.
He said there used to be a path that went through it or beside it. And he and his wife, I guess, used to walk their dog up there a lot, and that's when he saw it. He said he thought at one time that there was a partial stone wall on one section. And he felt that there's a stone outside by itself, outside the wall, and he feels that may be part of it because sometimes a slave or someone, if they had a disease, were not put in the grave, in the cemetery itself, they were put outside the stone wall. So he was quite sure of what he found for some reason. And
I'm of the same opinion based on what seems to be the norm of that period, which it could possibly be associated with field stones, with header and footer stones, the placement, and then there is a partial stone wall there to where you could pretty much assume that that area might have been enclosed originally. I mean, there's a lot of checks on one column, but I think, I don't know if there's any if archaeological or LIDAR or some other scientific approach might be able to prove it.
As soon as we find out, I think we should mark it and put a sign on it so that people will know not to dig in it, and we can honor it. To me, it wouldn't cost much to put a chain around it.
I agree.
Why would people want to go up there and dig?
Well, I guess there was not a post hole, you dig when you want to build a house.
Backhoe.
Yeah,
Or
but,
excavator.
Excavator.
yeah, but you dig a hole for whatever reason.
Oh.
Check for water.
Yeah, to check for what.
Yeah, there's been some digging for that.
Oh, there.
Oh, okay, that kind of digging. Oh, okay, not people
Thank
actually
you.
shovel
Right.
it.
That's my word.
Okay.
And there's no update on what brought this traction here was that there's new ownership of that large parcel, and they had an interest in developing.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that this area is not disturbed in that process. But there has been no updates about the development, which works towards our favor in conducting the research to prove the site. I'll keep the commission apprised as soon as I receive information from the experts that I mentioned. I will get that around to the commission to take our next steps. And the last item I have on my agent report, but before I cut to that, back to North Governordale Pond, you might notice if you're down there in algal bloom, we are in need of a rainfall, and which.
Badly.
But if anybody's wondering, that's why it's kind of looking green. It's there hasn't been any dumping or any of that kind of thing. It's an algal bloom, and water rainfall will eventually move it along and clear up the water a bit. But now to the final item. I mentioned earlier the Connecticut Association of Conservation and Inland Wetlands Commissions. Our annual membership that we share with the Inland Wetlands Commission is due. The contribution from each commission is $60 for a total of $120. It's customary when we present our PO to finance that we have the minutes of the meeting associated with the authorization of the expense. So before we close our meeting, I would ask that the commission authorize $60 to renew the membership and a voice vote on that. But before we close, Cacklewick, that organization is organizing its fall 2022 meeting. This is going to be the first that they've held in person since the beginning of the pandemic. The date they have set for that is Saturday, October 29th. And there would be a discount for member commissions and staff. And they are the publisher of the Habitat newsletter, which is back in circulation now too. I've left a copy for folks on the table there. If there's not enough, you might be able to find it very quickly online, or I can produce a copy for you and have it in the office. But that is all I have in my agent report. It is not all inclusive, I'm sure, but I try to keep an idea of, keep a list going of what I'm working on and what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. But if members have any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them.
I guess at this point, we need to authorize the expense of $60 for membership to the Connecticut Association of Conservation and the Wetlands Commission.
I'll make a motion that we do that.
Okay, do I hear a second? Any further discussion on the issue? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. So carried. I have a question. Who puts the agenda together, you or Heather?
So I do, but Heather and I probably should have a call and sort it out. So with the Wetlands Commission, as the recording secretary, I don't have involvement in the agenda, and kind of that's how I've played it on other commissions that I've administered. That the recording secretary, I would author the agenda as the agent, and the recording secretary would author the minutes. I've never missed a filing date, but I kind of am a poor communicator in that regard. Heather really wants us to stay on top of our deadlines, and I had filed the agenda on Wednesday with the anticipation of sharing it with the commission with the rest of the meeting materials. Yeah, I think there's room for improvement on my end with communication, just to have her have the peace of mind that the agenda has been filed and that we haven't missed a deadline. I prefer to file the agenda on my own because it's just as easy as me writing it up and going downstairs and filing it. Having to send the agenda to her to come and file kind of is an extra step that I don't think is really practical or necessary. But I will reach out to Heather and we'll sort it out so we don't have a miscommunication.
No, why I questioned was under old business, there's just a couple things listed, and I thought there was more old business than just those two.
There is actually, and
I was
if
wondering-
the commission would like to vote for its officers, that is something that should have been expressed on this agenda. And we can add that as business with if someone makes a motion and it has it seconded that we could add that business. But it is missing that item.
Shouldn't we have notice of it and do it next meeting?
I think so. I think having Pat sit in on this meeting is good. And then when she's a full-fledged member, that she can have a better sense of the members of the commission and have a vote.
So let's put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, getting back to the agenda. What do we, are there any questions that you have of our agent's report? Let's get back to that.
I have not.
No. Okay. Moving on, is there any new business to be brought up tonight?
No plans to review. We have had the inquiries about Ballard Road, and sometimes somebody asks what they can do with their property, but they're kind of dissuaded at the quick answer that, you have an easement. It's means forever. But the Ballard Road couple, they're seriously interested in exploring their options, and that might be business at our next meeting. But I think they would have a lot of obstacles and a little legal matter to sort if they hope to develop.
They should have known all this when they purchased the property, shouldn't they?
I agree. Marla's noticing this also. People new to town not knowing what they're buying, and we can't reach them until they come to us, and it's unfortunate that they buy a piece of property without knowing what they have really.
Isn't that the responsibility of the real estate agent?
I would think that they could play a role in helping, their clients with that, but
The real estate agent's obligation is to the seller, not to the buyer, but the buyer should have their own lawyer.
True.
The buyer should have a lawyer at the close telling them exactly what it is that they're buying.
And if not, they can go back on that lawyer.
Okay, we'll now go to any other new business, anything else you wish to bring up?
Yes.
Okay,
I was just reading this, the butterfly corridor, where exactly is that?
For hundreds of miles.
Huh?
It's.
No, I raise monarchs,
Yes,
and I have a big monarch,
yeah.
but I have a lot of milkweed.
We're on
In
the
East
path for
Thompson.
monarch
But
migration.
he said, attended a garden on the side of the town hall.
Oh.
Where?
All the plants that are out here, there's some over here and some
But
over
there's
here.
no, is there milkweed over there?
Yes,
I haven't gone over there to
Yeah.
see.
on that side, on the,
yeah.
Okay.
on the
And
Swartland side.
Al Landry and his wife have been maintaining those gardens for many years, but they're to the point of wanting to retire and so somebody else has to take over, but they want to make sure that the milkweed is
I will,
it's A, cared for, and B, doesn't become over, because milkweed will take over when it's not cared, but you
My
want,
milkweed does take over.
you want some, you don't want it all.
I have about 50 plants, and I have 7 monarchs that are ready to emerge, and I have about maybe 20 young. I have aquaria. I raise them. Once I find them outside, I raise them indoors because when they're just hatching from their eggs, spiders will eat them. So every day I go and so I could help them.
Well, I had a half a dozen milkweed plants in my yard that got stripped bare. I mean, I get sticks now with the milkweed.
The monarchs
Yeah,
or,
they're the only things that eat it.
no, you have your tusk moths. They're yellow and black and they have little tusks on them and they're cute as a button. And they also,
They,
they love milkweed.
okay, I didn't know
and
they
They
ate
will
milkweed.
devour it.
Well, could have been them.
Wow.
I didn't see anything devoured. I just saw that they were milkweed one day and sticks the next
Yeah.
day.
We'll do that. They're
Okay, we'll now move on to citizens' comments. John?
John Rice, 39 East Thompson Road. I want to address the last month's meeting, item 9, members forum, where David Clark indicated damage to East Thompson Cemetery. People caring for the cemetery have caused damage. I'm just wondering if that's an observation of his, or did he actually see these people doing that?
It was.
Headstones, let me finish, please.
Sorry.
Headstones have been hit by those mowing the cemetery. Again, I'd like to know that, did he actually see this? Is this hearsay or somebody's telling him this? The stones were damaged with the equipment used to take out the trees. I'm president of East Thompson Cemetery, by the way. I'm aware of that, the indication, I knew that happened. The reason that happened, the individual I was hired to grind out the stumps, the vibration from the machine, because that was probably a 3-foot diameter pine that he was grinding up, and it broke the stone. And we plan on fixing that in due time. Litter is left on top of the gravestones. I don't know what type of litter, but I'm always welcome to people walking through cemetery members is to pick up trash. Headstones are being laid on top of other headstones. That's due to some of them being broken. The caretakers do not seem to be careful. I question that, as this is a private cemetery, and it's all volunteers. Nobody gets paid for that caretaking of that cemetery other than the groundskeeper. I guess my concern is that what authority or what charge the Conservation Commission have in going to a private cemetery and observing and making comment at a meeting. So I guess I'm looking for answers. In that it is a privately owned cemetery, and I don't know where the town has input from that. Yes.
Okay. At the meeting, what I asked was, what is because cemeteries fall under our purview, but I'm new to this. And so I simply asked, what does that mean and where? I was approached by someone else who was on the commission who asked to remain anonymous and was shown photographs of the damage that was done and how it happened. And all I did was ask here if this fell under our purview or not. And that was the question that I had asked and the way that I asked it. If it's a private cemetery and doesn't fall under our purview, it's none of our business. I did not know, which is why I was asking, because I don't know. Some cemeteries are under us and some apparently aren't. And I didn't know which was which. And I simply asked that question and was told that this was shown photographic evidence of the damage that had been done and how it happened and when it happened. And I just brought that to this commission. That's all that it was. If it's a private cemetery and none of our business, then it's a private cemetery and none of our business. It's not part of this, which is what I was asking. Does it fall under our umbrella or not?
When you asked the commission that question, what was the answer?
I didn't get that. The answer was, Norma said she would talk to you. Norma said she would talk to you.
Yeah, but you already made a statement at that, not knowing what your role or the commission's role was with cemeteries. You're making a statement of the damage and
Yes.
everything else prior to whether you had any business divulging any kind of information to the commission.
I said that the person had approached me and this is what they reported. And did this fall under our purview or not?
Now, that person that approached you, now, did you take a tour of the cemetery with that person, with your wife?
I
to
did
look
not.
at it?
I did not. I saw the photographic evidence.
Okay,
I
somebody
would have,
else.
if
Somebody
this,
observed you and your wife
if
and
this,
that person that
nobody
you're
observed me
referring.
down there at all. Nobody observed me down there at all, because I haven't been there. I didn't know if it was under our purview or not. If it was under our purview, I would have gone down there and looked. I was simply shown some photographs. I did not go down there. I haven't looked at this myself. I was shown the photographs. I was told the story. I came here and said, does this fall under us or not? And that's all I asked, because I did not know. I know that some cemeteries fall under us. I don't know what's what, because I'm still new here.
You
And
have
that's
a
all I
copy,
ask.
have you looked at the website of what the commission does, what the responsibility?
Yes, that's
of what
why
we
it's still-
do?
we
And I
have-
don't see that listed. So how would you, why are you
I got a
asking?
book this thick on what the commission does, and cemeteries are part of it.
That's
And that's what I
that's on
asked
the
here.
Facebook. It's not what they do, what you're responsible for.
I asked here, that's why I asked. I asked here if this fell under our purview.
Seems to be a conflict there, asking the commission if it's in your purview, and yet you already had information about it. I don't know what. What precipitated you in talking about the cemetery, a
Okay.
private cemetery?
I'm trying to make this clear, John. I don't know how to make it any clearer. There are cemeteries that fall under our purview, under the purview of this
I
commission.
know that.
We discuss them at these meetings. We have discussed
You know how many
discussed them
cemeteries are in Thompson?
a lot.
24.
A lot.
24.
How many?
24.
24.
Where is, may I ask, where is this cemetery that you're talking about?
By the Speedway, just past the Speedway at the crest of the hill, past the driving range of East Thompson Road.
Okay, but people still get buried there.
Yes,
Yeah, because I've gone to
Yeah.
okay,
But it's
So-
private. It's
And
a private, it's nothing to do, my point is nothing to do with the Conservation Commission. So a member of the commission commenting on how the upkeep of the cemetery is and
I-
posting it in the minutes.
because I did not know what cemeteries
what-
came under us and what ones didn't. I didn't know if they all were under us, if some were under us. I did not know. That's why I was asking the question. I'm trying to learn how to do this.
That informant
I'm
or
trying to learn my
the
job.
person that was asking you the question, she or he didn't know that that was a private cemetery, nothing to do with the Thompson, town of
The
Thompson?
person that came to me
Yeah.
has family members buried in that cemetery.
I know exactly who you're talking about. That's why I'm
And-
questioning you.
And,
Is that she didn't know?
and
She didn't know that that's a private cemetery? Or were you?
John, you're not listening to a word I'm saying. I don't know why I'm discussing it. You're not listening to a single word I'm saying.
That's because I don't believe you. That's simple.
All right, and I'm done.
May I just say something? I think and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Rice, I think what you're trying to allude to is the fact that in a public meeting, a private cemetery, even though you didn't know, you should have probably had a conversation with Norma prior to the meeting instead of making it public. And
part of the minute.
disparaging statements about a private cemetery. Is that where you're coming from?
Exactly.
Because that's what I'm interpreting. And I think in the future, I think that would make sense. That just, if there's something that could disparage another individual or another organization, that maybe you should gather the facts before making a
I
public statement.
asked at the meeting.
But you were in a public meeting, is all
Yes,
John's saying.
because cemeteries fall under this
But
group.
not this cemetery.
But I did not know that, which is why
Well,
I
that's
asked.
why I'm saying that you should have probably done your due diligence to ask Miss O'Leary if it was a public cemetery.
Then
And if
again,
it fell under your purview
when I
before you made a public
when I
statement.
asked at the meeting what cemeteries fell under us, it could have been told that cemetery doesn't, and I wouldn't have said anything else. I have a right to ask what cemeteries are responsible, and that's what I was asking.
Mhm.
That's what I asked.
Well, who owns your cemetery? Who,
Association.
huh?
It's formed as association, the East Thompson Association, Cemetery Association.
That's just
Yeah.
that one cemetery?
Well, it's on both sides of the road. You go on.
If I'm not allowed to ask at meetings, what do we cover? How am I going to learn this?
that's good.
Meetings are the time to do this.
So.
And had I been told that's a private cemetery and it's not under us, but I wasn't told that.
Well, did maybe your volunteers, maybe through the thing, it looked like you needed some help with it? No? I don't know.
It doesn't matter, because it's not under our purview, which is all I asked.
So we just stay away from that cemetery now, right?
So.
Case closed.
As
Take
I-
it off, well, we can't take it off the minutes.
It's sad that it reached the minutes, that it's in print in our minutes, but it's there. I did visit with John at the cemetery. And yes, he's had a lot of huge pine trees taken down, and it stands to reason that when you have a working project of doing a big project like that, it's gonna be in disarray at that point, but it's being taken care of. And there's a little difference of opinion of whether they're doing a good job or not, but that's beside the
But it's a
issue.
private cemetery, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's- It's
It does
The
to him.
members of the association.
members
It does.
association, but it
And I
doesn't
have-
matter to
I
us.
have yet to have one person of the association make a comment that it's not one of the better cemeteries in the town of Thompson, or what is in the past. It's just-
Okay, I think we've got the message, John. Thank you. Is there anything else you can get?
Mission got the message. I hope somebody did.
I think we all did. Okay, moving on to, thank you, John. Moving on to, members forum. As a member, Pete, you got any comments?
No. Just about the cemetery. You got- How about the Aquatic Cemetery?
No.
That one's coming along. Wilsonville's coming along.
I was visiting with the president of the Historical Society, and I was asked if he said he'd like to interview me, and I told him I didn't want an interview. And he said he wanted to interview me on cemeteries. So we, I finally said I'd give him a tour. So we toured the 10 of the 24 cemeteries that I've been working, the neglected cemeteries. So I gave him a tour of the 10, and we walked around the 10. So he says that's going to be part of a program that he's putting on for the town. We were very fortunate. We had, my worker was there. I have a grant. We're working on the Wilsonville Cemetery. And Mark Parker, the worker, was there, and I always take him an iced coffee. So he's used to giving presentations because he worked for DEP. So he explained what he's doing, how he repairs them if they have a foundation or if they don't, whatever. Well, Joe taped it, whatever. Recorded it. It visualized it, whatever. And he was delighted. And then I came to the conservation office and I borrowed Carolyn's book on all the cemeteries, and I had my book. And so I gave Joe a lot of homework to do so he can put his presentation together. So that's kind of my comment.
Do they just, they discourage rubbings though, right? On some of the old cemeteries, don't they discourage it because can't that ruin whatever's
We
left?
didn't discuss this.
I just was curious. I had heard something about that. It's no good to do the rubbings on the old
I can't answer that. Probably the best thing would be to check with the gravestone girls.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
right.
I've mainly been interested in the trees that hang over and ruin the gravestones themselves.
How about
And
the gravestone girls, anyway?
I can give you information on that. I have,
I never heard of it until today.
oh, well, they,
Are they, they're adults that,
yes. They, last year, they came to the Jocelyn Cemetery with about 10 kids and they cleaned 8 or 10 different stones. She showed them how to do it properly and
oh,
not,
to take off
yeah.
yeah, oh. Okay. Hmm.
um,
Are they local? Are they Thompson people?
No, I don't think so,
Oh.
but they're nearby. Yes,
Right.
John.
I
Oh,
can't, they're from Worcester. She does this nationally. She's very good. I had.
Go ahead, John.
But I had people, I had 4 National Honor Society students.
mhm.
And we observed when Normus or the rec department had them in that cemetery, then we brought them. She went over to East Thompson Cemetery and showed the 4 students how to properly clean
Yeah,
the stones and that type of thing. And it's just an education that she has about the history of all the stones in the
Okay.
Stowe Cemetery. She pointed out to these students that which stones were the oldest ones that were in the East Thompson Cemetery. And the designs that are on the stones
Mhm.
itself, you mentioned the rubbings, and I guess it's not a thing properly to do. But
It's
you're
what?
right, it does deteriorate the stone somewhat when you
Yeah.
do that. But she has a wealth of knowledge. I'll tell
are
you
they
that.
on can you go? Oh, the gravestone girl, oh, okay, good,
Big deal.
I'll look at, you know,
Big deal. And that's a telephone number. if you
yeah,
want to
no,
call.
I can just put in gravestone and, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else have a comment? From a members forum comment? Okay, moving on, any announcements? Coming up? We should know about what's anything exciting cooking?
Sidewalk projects continue.
Oh, yes, that's going great.
Yes, it is, it is.
And they expect to be by the school entrance
Oh.
before school starts.
Yeah, they should be past the school.
Yeah.
Food truck festival,
They're almost there.
the
now.
September food truck festival, the foodie festival on September 10th in Riverside Park.
Foodie,
Food truck festival.
Food truck.
Oh.
food
Yeah,
truck
I think
festival.
they're calling it Foodie Fest or something
Yeah.
like that.
And isn't that when the animal, our animal control,
No,
they were gonna have,
They were supposed to have something and they canceled that.
right, because it was too warm, so I think they're going in with something going on, I thought.
Not that I know of.
Hmm. To look into that.
okay. The next scheduled meeting is Monday, September 19th at 7 PM. And at this point, you're
Make a motion, we adjourn.
officially adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dan.
take it easy.
Just a comment on that.